Here are the video solutions for AQA Functional Skills Level 2 Maths. This is paper 2, which is the calculator paper, and this is November 2021. So let's take a look at section A. Question number 1. The probability of an event happening is 3/5. So what is the probability of the event not happening? So remember that probabilities need to add up to 1. So 1 minus 3/5. Remember that 1 is 5/5, so we've 5/5 minus 3/5. I'm probably over explaining this a little bit, but the answer is therefore 2/5, which is the second option. Question number 2, this one's quite easy to get wrong, so just think of our bid mass. So what we've got here is we have some indices and we have some adding, so we need to do the y squared first. So what is minus 3.2 squared? Well, that is minus 3.2 times minus 3.2. So remember that a negative times a negative is a positive. So that is 10.24. So the final part is adding the 5. 5 plus 10.24 is 15.24. So that is the final answer there. Question number 3. So we want to work out point B, which is 3 squares to the west. So just think of our compass. Naughty elephants squirt water, or never eat shredded wheat. So 3 squares to the west means 3 to the left, so 1, 2, 3, and then 5 south, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So remember we need to go along and then go, or in this case down, so it's going to be minus 2, minus 3. Okay, question number 4. So 3 more than negative 8. So what you might need to do is just write out your number line: minus 8, minus 7, minus 6, minus 5, minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, etc. So 3 more than negative 8. So if it's greater, so remember that if we are adding, we're going in this direction. If we are subtracting, we are going in this direction. So negative 8 plus 3, 1, 2, 3 is negative 5. 4 less than negative 2, so we are subtracting 4 from negative 2, so 1, 2, 3, 4 takes us to negative 6. And halfway between minus 7 and 5, well, what you could do here is add these two together, so negative 7 plus 5, and then divide the answer by 2. Minus 7 plus 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is minus 2. Minus 2 divided by 2 is minus 1. Alternatively, halfway between minus 7 and 5, well, we can just cross off until we work our way into the middle. So minus 5, 3, minus 4, 2, minus 3, 1, minus 2, 0. We've exposed negative 1. So there we go, minus 5, minus 6, and minus 1. Write the ratio 144 to 190 in its simplest form. Well, I can't divide, I can divide both numbers by 2 actually, they're both even. 144 divided by 2 is 72. 90 divided by 2 is 45. Can't divide by 2, but I can divide by 3, I think. 72 divided by 3 is 24. 45 divided by 3 is 15. And now I can divide by 3 again. 24 divided by 3 is 8. 15 divided by 3 is 5. So the answer is 8 to 5. If you've got a calculator that gives you an answer as a fraction, you can simply just type into your calculator 144 divided by 90, and it will give you straight away the fraction 8 over 5. So in the same way that you've turned this ratio into this fraction, you can turn this fraction into this ratio. Question number 6. Okay, so we need to work out the size of angle X. So the key thing here is this is an isosceles triangle. They've told us it's isosceles. We can see from these marks that it's isosceles as well. So that means this angle is 42, because the base angles of an isosceles triangle are always equal. So what we've got are two angles that added together come to 84 degrees. The angles in the triangle add up to 180. So 180 degrees, take away the 84 degrees, will tell me what X is. So therefore X is 96 degrees. Moving on to section B, question number 7. So we need to work out an approximation to estimate Jim's November gas payment. So we can see we've got, well, we know he's used 1,976 kilowatt hours. So what we're going to do is round it to one significant figure. So we're going to call that 2,000 kilowatts multiplied by 2.92 pence. Well, let's call that 3p. 2,000 multiplied by 3 is 6,000. So that is 6,000 pence. And there's also the standing charge per day. How many days are there in November? 30 days have September, April, June and November. So that's 30. So that's 30 days multiplied by 39.6, we'll call that 40p. So 30 times 40, that is 1,200 pence. So in total, if we just add these two values together, that is 7,200 pence. So divide by 100, knock off those two zeros, that is therefore £72. Okay, so Jim's current gas company produces 43% of gas from green sources, and Jim wants to use a company with a greater proportion of gas from green. Okay, so first of all, how many degrees do we have here? Well, that is going to be 360 degrees minus 198 degrees, and that is 162 degrees. So what proportion is 162 degrees of this whole 360 degrees? Well, what is 162 out of 360 as a percentage? Well, that is 162 divided by 360 multiplied by 100, and that comes to 45%. So mixed gas is 45%, and 45%, well, that is greater than the 43% from his current supplier. So should Jim change to mixed gas? Yes, he should. 7C, Jim's thinking of buying solar panels, and the price of the panels has decreased by 27%. So if it's decreased by 27%, then that means that Jim would have paid 100% minus 27%, which is 73%. And this is what they would cost now. Okay, so what we know is that 73% is £4,803.40, and we want to work out what the full price would have been. So this is quite a tricky one. So what we need to do first of all is work out what 1% is. Now that is 73 times less than 73%, so therefore I need to divide the £4,803.40 by 73, and that comes to £65.80. So if 1% is this amount, then 100% is 100 times greater. So all I need to do is multiply the £65.80 by 100, and that is £6,580. Moving on to question 8. Okay, so we need to be careful here because Ben is doing 4 laps of the sports track. So the sports track is 120 plus 120. So let's write that down. 120 plus 120 plus this curved part here and this curved part here. Now if we attach these two curved parts together, we have got a circle, and we've got a circle which has got a diameter of 30. Okay, so what we want is the circumference of a circle. The formula for the circumference of a circle is 2 pi r, so plus 2 multiplied by pi, 3.142, multiplied by the radius, which would be half of that, which is 15. Or another way of seeing 2 pi r, 2 times the radius is the diameter, so you could just use a formula pi d, just use whichever formula you're familiar with, which is pi, or 3.142 times by 30, which is the 2 times by 15. Anyway, so that is 240 plus 2 times 3.142 times 15 is 94.26, and 240 plus 94.26 is 334.26. So this is for 1 lap, so we need to multiply that by 4 for the 4 laps, and that comes to 1337.04. Now what percentage of this, what percentage of 5,000 is 1,337.04? So the calculation is 1337.04 divided by 5,000 multiplied by 100, and that comes to 26.7408. So we'll just call that 26.74%. Again, like, it doesn't state how many decimal places. There's a range of answers that are acceptable. So 26.7 I think would be fine as well. Okay, let's move on to part B. So the ratio of wet to dry is 2 to 5. So what that means is 2/7 is wet and 5/7 is dry. And the reason it's sevenths is because 2 plus 5 is 7. So if he needs 420 grams per day, then we need to work out, well, what is 5/7 of 420? So here we're working out a fraction of the total. So we take the total, we divide by the number on the bottom, and we multiply by the number on the top. And that comes to 300 grams. So per day, Pluto needs 300 grams of dry food per day. So if he's got a 12 kilo bag, well, that is 12,000 grams, 12 times by 1,000. So how many 300s go into 12,000? So 12,000 divided by 300, and that comes to 40. So the answer is 40 days. Okay, so the first thing we need to do for this question is work out the area of the fenced area. So 2.4 multiplied by 2.25, and that is 5.4 meters squared. Now, Ben builds a kennel which is 1/6 of this area, so let's work out the area of the kennel. So the kennel area is 5.4 divided by 6, and 5.4 divided by 6 is 0.9 square meters. Now, the area of the kennel is 0.72 multiplied by the length, and that is going to equal the 0.9, so therefore the length is going to be 0.9 divided by 0.72, so therefore the length, using the calculator, is 1.25 meters. There we go. Moving on to question number 9. So we need to work out Ahmed's average speed and work out whether it's more than 0.7 meters per second. So first of all, we want to work out, well, if we want the speed in meters per second, how many seconds has he been swimming for, and how many meters did he do? So first of all, the distance is 25 meters per length, and he's done 50 lengths. So in total, he's done 50 lots of 25, and that comes to a total of 1,250 meters. Minutes we're turning into seconds, so 38 minutes multiplied by 60 seconds is 2,280 seconds. And we want his speed. Now, speed is the distance divided by the time, so that is a distance of 1,250 divided by 2,280, and that comes to 0.5482 meters per second. My average speed was more than 0.7 meters per second. No, it wasn't. It was less. So the answer is no. 0.5482 is less than 0.7 meters per second. Okay, let's move on to part B. So Ahmed collected £35 and 6/7 was donated by taxpayers. So what is 6/7 of £35? So here we're working out a fraction of a total. So we take our total, we divide it by the number on the bottom, and we multiply by the number on the top. So that is £30 from taxpayers. Now, gift aid means that you get an extra 25p for every £1. So here we've got £30, so that's going to be 30 lots of 25p, and 30 times 25p is 750p, which is £7.50. So he's collected £35 plus the gift aid, which will be an extra £7.50. So that comes to a total of £42.50. Okay, moving on to part C. So here we want to work out the estimated mean. So we've got a column here for the midpoint. So what is the midpoint of 0 to 10? Well, that is 5. 15, 25, 35 and 45. Now why are we doing this? Well, we know that 7 people collected between £0 and £10. Well, maybe all 7 people collected £10, or maybe they all collected 1p, we don't know. So what we're doing is we're assuming that they all got £5 each. So that's the best assumption, exactly halfway through this, this group here. So the total raised by these 7 people is going to be 7 multiplied by 5, which is 35. So this here is a total column, it's the frequency multiplied by midpoint. So we'll do the same for all of these. I was just trying to explain the rationale as to why we do this. A lot of people might know what to do, that it's just frequency times midpoint, without really understanding why. I suppose it helps if you do understand why. Not the end of the world if you don't know, as long as you remember what to do. So that's 60, 6 25s are 150, 135 is 35 and 245s are 90. So the total raise is going to be all of these figures added together, and that comes to £370. So the estimated mean, and the reason why it's an estimated mean is because we're assuming that they all raised the exact midpoint of these ranges here. So that's going to be £370 divided by 20 people, and that comes to £18.50. So this year's mean amount is more than £3 higher than last year's. Well, let's just double check this. So our final calculation is 1850 minus 1485. Of course, we can use our calculator for all of these calculations. 18.5, take away 14.85, that comes to £3.65, and of course the £3.65, well, that is greater than £3. So yes, that supports the statement. Okay, moving on to question number 10. Okay, so we want to work out the volume of concrete. Well, the first thing we need to do is work out the area of this shape. So what we've got here is a compound shape. We've got a rectangle, which is 3 by 4. So the area of the rectangle, that's 3 times 4, which is 12 meters squared. And here we've got a trapezium. Now the formula for the area of the trapezium is A plus B over 2 multiplied by the height, where A and B are the parallel sides. So these are the parallel sides here. So, and we want to work out the height. Well, if the height of the whole thing is 4.5 and the height up to here is 3, then this has got to be 4.5 minus 3, so this is 1.5 meters. It's not drawn accurately. We can see that's certainly looks like it's not been drawn accurately. So A plus B is 3.4 plus 4. So 3.4 plus 4 divided by 2 multiplied by the height, which was 1.5. And that comes to a total of 5.55 meters squared. So therefore the total area is going to be 12 plus 5.55, which is 17.55. Now that's the area of it. Now we want, so the area, this is 17.55. So for the volume, it's just the area multiplied by its depth. So it was that figure, 17.55 multiplied by 0.1, and that comes to 1.755, and state the units, well, that's going to be cubic meters, 1.755 meter cubed. Okay, 10b. So the scale is 3 to 50. So that means 3 centimeters on the scale equals 50 centimeters in real life. And we've got 23.4 on the scale. So how many times greater than 3 is 23.4? Well, the answer is, well, what is 23.4 divided by 3? And the answer is 7.8. So we're scaling it up 7.8 times, so therefore we need to scale up the 50 times 7.8 times as well, and 50 times 7.8, that comes to 390 centimeters. Is the actual height of the conservatory less than 4 meters? Yes, 4 meters is 400 centimeters, and 390 centimetres is less than 400 centimetres. Okay, on to question 10c. Molly wants to build a brick wall as part of the conservatory. If she does it by herself, it will take 12 hours. So one person working on the job takes a total of 12 hours. Okay, but if she's getting 2 builders involved along with her, then that's going to be 3 people on the job. So that will mean the job will get done 3 times faster. So we need to divide this by 3, not multiply it by 3. So it's going to take less time. So it's 4 hours. So Molly's going to work for 4 hours and 2 builders are each going to work for 4 hours. So if each builder's working for 4 hours, then she needs to pay each builder 4 lots of £14.73, and 4 times by £14.73 comes to a total of £58.92p. So that is our final answer, £58.92, and that is the end of this assessment.